Alright guys, so I don't have a ton of time today, but I wanted to show you a quick mix tip. Alright guys, so today I figured I would show you this really quick mix tip, and it's actually available on the list of mix tips that's available to my Patreon patrons. So if you want access to that list with all the thoughts that are on there, please go check out my Patreon. So it's patreon.com/CatoNoise. So the basic tip here is to put a little bit of reverb on your master fader, right? So I have this session open here. This session it was a bit of an exercise, so it's not like a thoroughly mixed thing, but I did put a little bit of reverb on my master fader, as you can see here. So I have the Convology XT on here. This is one that I just started using kind of recently, so I'm still kind of trying it out, seeing how I like it. But it's been fun to play with, and so I have this one here. Sometimes I use other plugins to do this, but the basic idea is that if you put a tiny, like a little bit of reverb on your master fader, it'll kind of help glue everything together. So that's what I tend to do nowadays. I think I actually might have mentioned this in my video on what's on my master fader, but I figured today I would just kind of go a little more in depth with how I did this and what I have on here right now. So yeah, the idea here is that, for example, if you're listening to a whole band performing live, those instruments all exist in the same acoustic space, right? And so it might be a very nicely treated acoustic space. It might not be. If we're working on a recording, usually we want it to kind of mimic a nicely treated space, right? Which is part of the logic behind why I don't put an extreme reverb on my master fader, besides the fact that it would just sound shitty, it might sound shitty. I don't want to say anything too conclusive because it depends on the type of music you're doing for sure. But with that idea in mind, you can put on a little bit of a reverb and it kind of glues everything together and makes it sound like it's in the same acoustic space, right? Because reverb is mimicking an acoustic space. So I have this on here. You can mess around with your different presets and try to figure out what sounds best for the song you're working on. It is going to depend on the song. Let me put my headphones on really quick. So I have these headphones today. I don't normally use these for mixing. I actually, my Sony headphones that I've had since college actually broke this week. So the left speaker cone is not working. It's no sound in the left, only sound in the right. I've had them since college, which is over 10 years ago now. So I graduated over 10 years ago. So they've lasted a good amount of time. I'm going to have to repair them or figure it out. And I have a new pair of headphones on order right now. And I have a few other pairs of headphones around here, but I decided not to use those for this video because I'm a hot mess and my, the cushion here, leaks dust particles all over me. I don't know if that even makes any sense. When the headphone cushions, they kind of break down and then you get little flakes of the black stuff from the cushion. I have that problem with my other headphones, so that's loads of fun. So I figured I would use these headphones to show you this concept today really quick. So the main idea here, I've increased the width a little bit here. I only did this ever so slightly. I don't want to overdo it because I'm also often using the BX Solo plugin to actually mess with the width, or I mess with it in other locations, like on specific instruments, for example. So I only did a little bit here, but that is something that I'll do. A lot of times what the width parameter is, I can't even say that, width. Anyway, a lot of times what the width parameter is doing is just adding a little bit of variance between the left and the right speaker. And that can make things sound a little more organic, right? Because a lot of our acoustic spaces are not symmetrical, right? So the sound does not come back to you in a perfectly symmetrical way. So I like to add a little bit of width to things, not necessarily on the master fader, but I did it here. This track is kind of a little more chill and ethereal sounding. So I might have overdone it a little bit, but again, this is not a thoroughly mixed thing or anything. This was just an exercise. So I also have the mix value here. So this is actually really low compared to how I tend to do it. I usually, I don't know, sometimes it'll be more towards 10% mix value for if it's a reverb that's on the master fader. But I do have this value at 5% for this song. I don't remember exactly why I decided to do that. I just felt like it was appropriate at that value. So it must have sounded like a little overkill when I had it higher. But we can try it out in a second here. Yeah, and then the other things, you know, things like pre-delay, decay, it's all the same as putting a reverb on any other instrument, right? You're just thinking about it as, instead of putting it on a specific instrument, you're putting it over your whole track, so your whole master fader. For those reasons, you're probably not going to make it as extreme necessarily. You'll hear the song in a second here and see why I made it this way. Maybe you'll see why. Maybe you'll want to tell me how you think it should be done. I do like feedback. I really do. So let me know what you think. But let's see. I am going to... Wow, I didn't even adjust the attack and the release values. That's interesting. That's like... I should make those a little... I should make those more than 0 milliseconds because that's pretty quick. Anyway, all right. I'm going to play this for you guys so you can hear it. And I'm going to cut this in and out. I'm just going to bypass it by command clicking on it. So I will play this for you. Going to take forever to decay here. So you can hear the effect that it adds. It kind of, especially if you listen back to like that word, the descent, you can hear how it really places that in the acoustic space with everything else. But yeah, it kind of just, it's this like kind of this gloss that smooths things over. So yeah, that's the basic idea. Let me just play it back, and I'm going to increase the mix value because I'm kind of curious now why I put it so low. It's kind of low for me. I don't know. Maybe it's not for the rest of you. But I'm kind of curious why I put it so low. So let's hear it higher, and maybe I bet we'll see why I did it that way. I don't know. Yeah, so I don't know. I kind of like it with these headphones, but again, I don't really trust these headphones. I haven't had them a long time. They're like partially Bluetooth headphones too, so I'm a little skeptical about the like Bluetooth. Geez, I messed this up. There we go. I'm a little skeptical about the Bluetooth headphones that are marketed towards mixing, but even if they are fine for mixing, I'm not used to them, so I don't really trust my ears listening to them specifically. So I kind of don't mind it higher for this track with this pair of headphones, but I'm going to actually return it because I might have made this decision based off of when I was listening back with my studio monitors on or with headphones that I trusted or some combo of that. So, I'm just going to put it back. I also didn't really spend significant time mixing this because that's not what the point of this exercise was for me. So, yeah, that's the thought. So yeah, that's the idea of putting a subtle reverb on your master fader. So I hope you guys like that. I hope someone finds it useful out there. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, as always, And if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I would appreciate all of those things. And if you do want access to this mixing checklist that's available to my Patreon patrons, please check out my Patreon. So it's patreon.com/CatoNoise. And my patrons do get access to additional content like the mixing checklist. So I hope you guys like that. I think that's about it. I come out with new videos every Wednesday, and thank you for watching. Okay. Wow, my computer already sounds like it's about to take off. Cool.